I'm here to talk about Therefore I Am's first full-length album, and it's from Equal Vision Records. And to describe their sound is a hard thing to do, just because I don't know, they don't fit into one certain genre. At least that's what I thought when I listened to it. They kind of sound like old Thrice, in my opinion. If you mixed The Artist in the Ambulance with The Illusion of Safety, that's kind of the sound that they have. I guess you can call it like melodic hardcore, I guess, with the side of, I don't know, whatever. But the album, it can be brutal at times, like brutally like hardcore, and it's just amazing. And then there are times where it's just it just can kind of blend together a little bit. I'm telling you, there's moments on this album where I'm like, oh, this band is incredible, but then there are times I'm just like, oh, let me go to the next track. And I think the album starts off super strong. It just sounds ridiculous. Like the first 4 songs are so good, and then it just kind of, all the songs just kind of blend in together, because the songs are kind of long, and they're 13 tracks, and about 2 or 3 are like just kind of instrumentals. But I don't know, it's just, like I said, there are moments that I see greatness, and the moments I just see But I love the guy's voice. Like when he sings, he can sound like Bert from The Used, and then when he screams, he just has like this passionate like scream where it just doesn't come off fake. It sounds genuine, and that's pretty awesome. My favorite songs in this album are 11:17. So good. Just it's the second track. It's just a blistering fast number. So good. It's got really melodic moments, but really heavy moments at the same time. Splinters is really good, really melodic song, kind of like 11:17. And The Art of Transparency, which is in the later half of the album, which I think is not as good as the first half, but luckily that song's there in the later half to kind of bring up the energy. But definitely I see potential in these guys. There's definitely I can see them getting so much better. I mean, this is their first full length, and it's definitely a departure from their last one, and you know, they're only going to get better, and like I said, I see some great things in the future. But for now, I'm going to give it a 3.5. Could be better, but there are definitely awesome songs on this album to check out. Thanks guys for watching. Alright, so Death by Stereo is back with their 5th full-length album, and it is not on Epitaph Records. I'm not sure what label it's on. I can't think of it right now, but it's not Epitaph. And this album's called Death Is My Only Friend. And to describe their sound is weird, because I don't know. Like if I had to classify them, I'd call them a hardcore, punk, technical, skate rock band. I know that's a lot of things right there, but that's what I would call them. What their music is awesome. They're known for having really amazing guitar work. There's a lot of shredding guitar riffs in this album. A lot of incredible solos. I mean, their guitar players know what they're doing. They've definitely played guitar before. You know, they didn't just learn. And their singer definitely has a distinct voice. It's one of those voices where you're either gonna love it or hate it, and I like it. He kind of sounds like Rocky, but like a punk rock version of Rocky. It's just, when you hear it, you'll understand. This album is actually really good. It's could be one of my favorites by them. My favorite would always be their I think it's Day of the Death, which is their first album on Epitaph Records. That one is awesome. But that one probably always be my favorite. But this one is probably right up there with it. Really good. This album is really, like, it's super melodic. Probably the most melodic out of all their albums. But it's still aggressive. Like, you won't be disappointed. where there's melody, there's always like some aggression and some anger with this album. So it's a good balance of the two. It's definitely good, but there's a lot of songs on this album, and by probably halfway you're kind of like, oh man, it's a bit much, but it's still good. And this is one of those bands where like I have to be in the mood to listen to them. If not, then and that kind of sucks. So that's why this album won't get as good of a score as it should, just because I always feel like I need to be in the mood to listen to them. But my favorite songs on this album are Bread for the Dead, Opening Destruction, and I Sing For You. So this is definitely a good album, but you need to definitely be in the mood for it, and that's why I'm giving it a 3.5. Alright, so the Higher are back with their second full-length album from Epitaph Records, and it's called It's Only Natural. And this CD has about 12 songs, and their sound, to describe their sound, I would call them boy band rock, and I think they're kind of the first band to really make it big with this genre, kind of, in my opinion. I think they're the first, and now there are a lot of other bands doing it, but I believe they were the first, but I could be wrong. And I have to first say, I hated their last album, On Fire. I just didn't like it. I thought it was super, super cheesy. It's just, I couldn't get into it. But the good news is I think this one is a lot better. I know a lot of people hated this album and liked their last one, but I'm the opposite. I did not like the last one, and for some reason I really like this album. I think it's definitely a lot better, not as cheesy, but I mean there are still cheesy songs on here. But I just like it better. I found the songs more, I think the songs are better. I think they're catchier, and I think a lot of these songs are definitely a lot more radio friendly than the last one, in my opinion. But some of the songs in this album, you'll be singing, and you'll have the song stuck in your head. It's gonna happen. It's just they wrote some of the catchiest songs, probably their catchiest songs they've ever written are on this album. And my favorites are Undertaker, which has this awesome little, like, it sounds like kind of like gang vocals singing, but it's really not. I think it's just the beat, but it's really different, and I really like it. I find it to be extremely catchy. Next one is Story of a Man Obsessed. It's a more of a rockier song than some of the other ones, because there are a lot of more pop oriented songs, and this one has a kind of a rockier feel to it. I like it, and I love the chorus. Next one is Play With Fire. Kind of has a whole techno beat kind of in here and there in the background, or keyboard sound that's really catchy. But those are my favorites. But I hated I think it's track 9. It's called Black Dress. It was just super cheesy. I couldn't get into that song, and I actually kind of hate it. But and what's interesting is they end their album with a cover, and it's a cover of Neo's Closer, and it definitely sounds good, but I don't think they should have ended it with that song. I think they should have put it as track 11, and then they should have closed with Scandalous, which is actually track 11 on the album, but it's like 7 minutes long. I think they should have closed with that instead, but that's just me. But I think this is definitely a solid album, and probably my favorite album by them. And I'm gonna give it a 4, a strong 4. It's good, but there are definitely some cheesy moments to this album. But they're definitely liked it better than On Fire.